So last summer, in 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, I got an email from someone here in town telling me that they were looking for volunteers for something called the Greater Together Community Fund.
There was a selection committee in our town, and one of my friends was like, I think there'd be a perfect opportunity for you. You seem interested in volunteering. And I was like, yes, I love it.
The Hartford Foundation decided to create the Greater Together Community Funds program after our newly appointed president, Jay Williams, came to town and decided to do a listening tour. And what he began to hear throughout all of the towns was this message that town residents really had clear ideas about what was going on in their towns, what were some of the challenges, but what they were lacking were resources. The board made a decision to be able to give us $2.9 million. And what our internal work group decided was that we were going to divide that across the board to our entire catchment area, which is 29 towns, was going to get $100,000. And one of the biggest tenets that we have developed in this program is inclusion. And what we're asking communities to do is really think about who else needs to be at the table.
I am the youngest person on the team, but I did not feel intimidated at all. At first, I was a little nervous to speak up because I felt like I wasn't as intelligent as the rest of the group, but everyone made me feel so included. We did some team bonding activities, got to know each other. Our selective committee looked at different age groups, different ethnicities, different races, and different genders as well. So we started off the process with a diverse group. I learned a lot about our town itself. I've lived in South Windsor for 8 years now, and I didn't really know a lot about the different nonprofits and different groups that really help make our town, South Windsor, into the amazing place it is.
Well, this trail will actually connect 3 of our major parks, the Wapping Park, this park here, which is Nevers Park, and all the way up to the Niederwerfer Land Preserve. And it will provide 6.2 miles of walking and biking and even rollerblading.
The idea really is, you're connecting communities, you're connecting people, you're connecting local businesses, parks, and those types of things. So that's kind of exciting.
We wanted to make sure we were focused on projects that would meet a variety of people's needs, from seniors to kids. We really are very homogeneous here. And what I also learned is that many of us in the committee and in the town felt uncomfortable with that.
The program actually looks at all aspects of systemic racism. The experience of Sacred Ground is actually a whole host of materials that are documentaries that we will look at live in real time. There's tons of optional reading. There'll be periods of didactic. And then once those experiences are shared, we will go into small group work. All the surrounding towns will have access to this program. Faith communities can play an important role in bringing together people around these kind of issues in a non-threatening way.
As a committee, we really hope that people will bring what we keep calling those kitchen table ideas. If we had this in Hebron, wouldn't that be great? But it's something that we really hope will continue to generate and support innovative quality of life projects that generate right here in town.
The goal of the program is to keep undocumented community members out of eviction, while we work with our community members to make sure that they have resources, money to pay the bills. We're also working with them so they know what their rights are, they know that there are other people out there who are going through the same thing, and they know that they have some power, particularly when they work with other community members. There have been participatory grant-making processes that are, you have to kind of jump through a lot more hoops. And this one was not that way. It was actually quite user-friendly.
My dream currently moving forward would be to reach as many people as possible, right? And making sure that they are supported during this difficult time and even in future time. Doing this program, it's made me realize how many sacrifices people do to make sure that they keep a roof over their head. There's been countless stories where I've witnessed people sacrificing food to be able to do that, or making sure their kids eat. It was those stories that definitely stick with me doing this rental housing, and reminds me why I'm here.
Es ayudar con las necesidades que tienen estas familias para poder cubrir al menos algo en ellas. El motivo de los carritos es para apoyarlos y para que ellas puedan ir a buscar más alimentos.
The project started for single mothers, and then we didn't know it was going to grow like that. It started with just 8 families, and then it was 20 people knocking at the door. Then it went to 60, then we went to 80 people. And when we noticed the living room, we didn't have tables, we didn't have chairs, we didn't have a couch because we had to move everything to be in order to get all the donations that we were getting. So that living room became La Bodeguita, which is the bodega, which is the little store. It's a good feeling to know from the little that we started to now looking at the line, people waiting for 4 hours just to get food from us. It's really good. It feels really good.
We were able to expand our current nutrition program to encourage seniors to make healthier choices. And as we strategized around this, what we came to was, why don't we enhance the nutritional program and the partnership that we have with UConn School of Agriculture to not only talk about healthy eating, but to be able to provide them with the healthy options to bring back into their kitchens and onto their dining tables.
We talked about making sure that we go to the places that weren't coming to us, because we recognize that there are some people who don't have social media. They may not get an email. How do we reach the elders, those people who are in need, whether or not they meet the criteria? They actually know that there is a grant out there that is here to service the needs of the community. And unfortunately, COVID brought about some devastating issues. And there are going to be many years that we have to recover from that. And I'm hoping that this fund and this grant can help organizations fill in the gaps with what COVID left behind. We recognize that we're the inaugural committee, but we made some mistakes, and we are excited about the improvements that we make. And we know that we need more people on our committee to have a sustaining impact.
We were very committed to supporting those that were underserved in the community, and we took a different lens on equity and inclusion to ensure that those that maybe are not brought forward as those that need the most help were brought forward. You know, having those conversations that may be a little bit more tense is good for a committee, because it lets you know that we're thinking of all angles.
We know in our community that people do not have internet access at home, or they have limited internet access, or circumstances might be that they have to give up their internet access. So we're providing them a free service that they can take advantage of. This is your device that you get for 7 days when you go to check it out from the library.
When you have kind of a locally driven grant opportunity, it's way easier to work with those folks. It's local, it's easy. We did partner up with a group based out of Vernon, Connecticut, and they were able to supply us with a number of students that really English was not their first or primary language. Those students are really going out into the communities, getting jobs in healthcare, and they found that they were lacking in first aid and CPR training. We want to make sure that they can go out and get jobs in the communities that they live in by supplying their certification, but then secondly, being able to hopefully save a life at some point. This is all provided to them free of charge based on the community grant that we were able to secure.
Throughout the process, I was able to learn a lot about teamwork and the different diverse people in our town.
The Greater Together Community Funds have been a great start for a town like ours to get some support for some unique initiatives.
We could all use support, and we want to be that support for them and create a community feeling, right? We can't be all about community and not supporting each other.
I just think that this is just a great show of humanitarian effort for people in towns to kind of embrace where they live and, you know, pour back into the town that they live in. I just think it's great.
There's a lot of need out there, and sometimes it seems overwhelming, but I think taking that one step of being able to say, what's the one little thing I can do is so important.
It's good to know that there's still a lot of good people that are trying to help the community, and them donating their money for good cause, it just shows you that there's a lot of people that are trying to do the same thing that we're doing, which is help the community.